welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alana here. Welcome back to 3 Degrees of Love Divination. So thank you for joining me today. So I figured I would jump on and do a pick 3 cup of love reading for you guys for April. And I think I decided to go with aspiring affirmations, if you will, for April. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go with. So, aspiring affirmations April. Pick 3 couple love reading. So welcome back to my channel. If you're new and you're just joining me, thank you for being here. I do read tarot. I am love. My channel is all about love, mental health, awareness, therapy, combining therapy and tarot, for our greatest and highest good, and wellness of ourselves and one another. So anyways, so in front of me I do have 3 piles, and as you can see, I do have I have these tarot tiles created by the lovely Push Kitty, but I am not using any of I'm not using the little Buddha oracle or the tarot in this pick 3 reading today. We're just using these as so you can pick and choose which pile that you want. Again, the way that I've done this, previously, if you haven't seen my previous pick 3 readings that I started doing for the month of March, and I was calling that Mindful Messages for March. But anyways, you are welcome to listen to the entire video and get all 3 piles and put them together, or whichever pile calls to you most, maybe that's the one that you pay more attention to. It's totally up to you on how you want to play it or pick whichever pile. So and I have the 9 of Wands here for pile number 1. I have the 9 of Cups here for pile number 3. And for pile number 2, we have the little Buddha head pin by Push Kitty, Amy of Push Kitty, holding space for pile number 2. So I'll let you take a moment just to decide which pile you want, and then we'll get started. So let's start with pile number 1. And that's the 9 of Wands. And as you can see here, the little animal, which looks like a lamb, I would say, has a bandage on its head and is taking a moment to recuperate, to take a moment to just breathe, if you will, and nurture their wounds. So, and be on guard for any other potential threats that may be trying to come forward while they're in their healing process. Anyways, so that's that tile. Okay, so the first card, and this is from the Embody Oracle by Himalaya, and I have used this in previous Pick 3 readings, and I would say that I'm using it for the last time. For now, this is a deck that I am getting ready to put away, so I figured, why not? I absolutely love this deck, by the way, if I haven't said that already. So anyways, first card we have is 38 Temple. So I really like that, especially considering that this was the 9 of Wands, that tile that we had on here, and I just felt called to share that with you here. Now, where did I put the guidebook? Hold on a second. I do want to read the guidebook on this card. So this is 38 Temple. Okay. Okay. 38 Temple. Have reverence. You are the temple. Sacred daughter, you are beautiful. Your body is strong and you are wise. If you've forgotten that your body is a temple, it's time to remember. Just like a sacred site or the temples in ancient lands that hold immense history and precious prayers, you too have been holding many things in your body for others and yourself. It's time to do a sweep to clear out energy, thoughts, and beliefs that are stagnant or limiting. Thank each and every one and bless them to be on their way now. You are the guardian of your sanctuary. Excuse me. And must prioritize taking care of it. Even flower petals need to be swept up after they have shared their fragrance and dried up. So too can you be cleaned and cleared for the next beautiful chapter of your life, creating space for new experiences, dreams, relationships, and opportunities. You may want to light some sage, sweetgrass, incense, or other fragrance to assist in this clearing. Embody invitation, cleansing breath exercise. Focus, clear stagnant energy to create space for a new chapter. Sit at your altar or a comfortable, quiet space. Take some deep breaths and relax in your temple body. Now ask your unseen allies, angels, spirit guides, whatever resonates with you, to support you creating space in your life to birth new ideas and renew your self-reverence. Take a deep inhale, taking in as much air as you can into all the areas of your body. Then let it all out with a jiggle of the body, mouth open, and make a sigh sound. Repeat this cleansing breath 3 times. Now grasp your belly with your inner muscles and pull your belly up into the ribs. Continue holding the breath as you relax the belly and then pull it back in. Lay with this a few times, creating a pump-like motion. When you are complete, unlock the breath by letting the belly relax and inhale slowly. Sit in stillness for a few moments, feeling the deep quiet of your temple. So I absolutely love that. especially again, going back to this Nine of Wands tarot tile here, with the bandage on the head of this, what looks like a lamb to me, you know, with the sunrise slash sunset in the background behind the wands, 8 wands, and then we have the ninth one being held by the lamb here. And, in this mode of protection, like I said, to take that breath, let go of, all of what isn't serving any longer, shielding yourself from any further negativity that, may want to come into your space, and taking the necessary time needed to heal, to do the inner work, the introspection, and everything that as was outlined in the guidebook for 38 Temple, right? Cleansing ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our hearts, right? The body holds on to trauma. And that is, one thing that I've, been learning a lot about. And it's through taking, the time, the meditation to clear, the negative energy from within. There's also, these methods of healing called, somatic healing, Reiki, all of these things are meant for the cleansing of your body, right? Even, practicing yoga and stretching. I was trying to say strengthening and stretching all at the same time. And so it came out like that. That's what happens when your brain just moves a lot faster than you really can, so you end up tripping over your words and things like that happen. The joys of having a very active, neurodivergent mind. That's constantly go, 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 go. Anyways, so yeah, right? And one thing to note especially with the bandage that's on the head of this lamb, it's really speaking to me that this is really with the focus of mental health. It's the mental health that's the focus of healing, right? The negative programming, the thoughts and behaviors that we've inherited from our ancestors, the generational trauma, clearing out all of those things from our minds, bodies, and spirit. So anyways, yeah. Okay. So 38 Temple. Next, from the Reclaim Oracle, because again, this is another favorite deck, of course, but it is something that I am ready to put away for now. Until I'm ready to bring it out again. So from the Reclaim Oracle by Marion C. Vasquez, as I've mentioned before, and if you haven't seen the walkthrough for, the comparison video that I did for that, and the tarot activity that I also did with this deck, please go and check that out. Anyway, so from the Reclaim Oracle, we have defeat. So, to me, this really speaks to, the idea of accepting what, what we've lost, what we may have failed at, or believe we have failed at. And letting go of that negativity, because all of that is what's keeping us stuck and stagnant. And basically, is throwing cracks into our foundation that, weakens our ability to stabilize and move forward safely. So it's important, especially when in here we see what look like, these figures that are surrounding, the person on the steps. And to me, that to me is, the various feelings that, that, as I said, that gets stuck within. Facing the shadows, clearing the negativity, and it's not even about, it's not even about necessarily looking to demolish or diminish our parts, our feelings, because there are feelings, but we have to learn how to separate that from our logical selves, especially the parts of self that aren't, serving us in the highest and best way possible. It's about getting to know these parts, giving them what they need to, it's like basically reparenting yourself, being that nurturer to the parts of self that were traumatized, that didn't get what they needed, in the most vital time of their development. So, yeah. So, again, clearing all that negativity, and repairing and stabilizing our foundations, so that we can succeed going forward and growing, right? Making it up the steps, gaining the strength we need to continue moving forward. Then we have the Two of Cups. So it's about meeting self, meeting your counterpart, whomever that may be for you, the person that, the foundations, and that doesn't have to just be necessarily one person. Yes, usually the Two of Cups is associated with, can be very much associated with, that energy of soulmate, but we can have more than one soulmate. We can have our soul family, right? That are reflective of, who we're meant to be in this lifetime, right? Who is going to aid us in building that foundation of new growth. So it's, bringing yourself, healing the parts of self that need healing, so that you can transform and grow into the highest and greatest potential of self that you were meant to be in this lifetime. To do the greatest and highest good for all in this lifetime. And now from Dr. Ebony, and I'm still working with this one for a bit, but I just felt called to include it in this pick 3, is my therapy cards. And this one is the newest one in her collection of cards. She has one for women, one for men, and then one for teens. And this is the newest in the collection for relationships. So, and these cards are great because they do tackle different aspects of our psyche, I would say, in that regard. And it has like so, you know, first off, we have a card for triggers, we have mindset, we have habits, you know, and they're color coded. So and then of course, you know, the other cards that come with it, emotional wheel and things like that. So clearly we are looking at based on the color of the back of the card, it looks like this might be a trigger card, but let's see. So yes. Okay. So the reflection for this and the journaling prompt for pile number 1 is, what coping strategies help you navigate tough situations? Task: discuss how each person can adopt additional strategies that also serve your relationship. So definitely, you know, as we, you know, as we talk about the people in our lives, and as I spoke about, you know, soulmates, and that, you know, our soul family, you know, how we relate with each other, and you know, how do we process tough situations? How do we navigate that and learn new strategies, additional strategies that can be very helpful in rebuilding the cracks in our foundation with our soul families, so that we can progress forward for all of our highest and greatest good. Okay, so that's pile number 1. Pile number 2, which is the little Buddha head pin, from the Ebony Oracle, the Embody Oracle. I don't know why I keep saying Ebony for that. But these are the Dr. Ebony cards, so maybe that's why. But even, okay, anyways, whatever. Okay, so we have 8, generosity. Let me read this card here, generosity, and something about that card is also now about, you know, the give and take, you know, that we have within our relationships, and also in regards to boundaries. And I think I've spoken about this before, previously. The boundaries that we have, are they rigid, or are they non-existent, or are we learning to balance out and create flexible boundaries that are serving our highest and greatest good, and also are protective of the highest and greatest good of others. Yes, our boundaries are for ourselves, but our boundaries, when they are clear and they're flexible, also allow for the healthy give and take. As well. So let's see, 8 here. Okay, 8, generosity. Generosity. Activate the law of circulation. Beautiful sister, in these deeply transformative times, old limiting beliefs that once may have served our ancestors before us are being called up for review. We now have the power to choose our beliefs and notice what ways we think that are destructive or don't create the world we dream of. The more we're aware, the more these old thoughts and behaviors fall away to create space for new beliefs and behaviors that match our values, purpose, and dreams. One of the oldest beliefs we hold is fear based on the ideas of scarcity and limitation. You can tap into your extraordinary power by realizing this universe you live in is generous and abundant. And as you let go of the stories that tell you otherwise, you can tap into incredible resources and immense wealth. The universe is calling you to fortify your abundance consciousness by sharing generously with others today. Here are a few quick ideas that you can easily fold into your day. Buy a thoughtful gift or some flowers for a loved one. Tip extra generously at your favorite restaurant. Donate to a charity you believe in. Prepare dinner to share with friends or community. The possibilities are endless. Have fun with it. You will find that the law of circulation never fails to open the channels of receiving as well. Enjoy this exploration and invest in people, events, movements, and things that expand your heart and feel joyful for you. Happy giving. Embody invitation, abundance, channel Qigong. Focus, visualize generosity as your superpower. Stand with feet shoulder width apart, knees softly bent. Take a deep breath in. Visualize yourself drawing that rich earth energy up into your heart as you bring the right hand up to your heart. Now feel into all of the people in this world that you are meant to share your talents, wisdom, and resources with, and send your hands out as if you are using them to send beams of light from the center of your being in several different directions. Intend that your beautiful energy reaches all the people it is meant to reach. Take one more deep breath and visualize positive energy, resources, and prosperity returning to you in large amounts from the sharing of your cornucopia of sacred gifts. Complete this exercise by deciding one way you can share your generosity today, and then give from your heart, feeling how wonderful it is to bless others. And you know, as I was reading that, the image that was popping in my mind was that of Pope Francis and what he represented. And yes, he represented a dogmatic religion, but he was much more than that. He meant much more than that. What he did was beyond the limitations of dogmatic religion. Because what he did from his heart. He accepted everyone as they were. He didn't care where you came from. He didn't care who you were. He didn't care what you subscribed to. He just was love, represented love. And poetically, passed after doing his final act of love, which was even in his if I should say ailing condition, still did what he felt called to do when he was called to do it. Because he believed in what he did and how he served. So, you know, to me, that shows and signifies and represents what all messengers that have walked before and even during his lifespan, what they represented. They represented what the whole meaning behind this past weekend was about. Love. We have it within us to give because we are made from love. And the expectation that we are also made with love. And we hope that in the process of our timelines that we are taught and that we are raised knowing what true love actually is. The truth about it. In its truest form. We learn that as we do the introspection, as we do the shadow work to heal and mend the parts that were deprived of the light. Deprived of that love. Anyways, okay, so 8, generosity. Overwhelm. I want to read the guidebook for this one. For the Reclaim Oracle. Overwhelm. I also want to say that what I gather is that, you know, what I'm picking up is that having, you know, that balance. I spoke about the boundaries, you know, and having the flexible boundaries, right? And how, and learning how to do that. Because either way you tip the scale with generosity, in the sense of whether you are giving, you become an overgiver. You end up drowning yourself, overwhelming yourself, burning yourself out. I live that. I know. And I'm still healing from it. So, but there is also the opposite side of the scale, which is, you know, to close yourself off. And to me, that's like to close yourself off to the point where you are willing to just watch others drown and aren't willing to lend a hand. Of course, those are two extremes, right? So it's about finding that balance, right, between the two. And in regards to, and this goes into all areas of life, right? But for me, with, you know, with, of course, the waves here, it, you know, to me, it feels more about the emotional aspect, right? You know, the giving and receiving love, the reciprocity, you know, within ourselves, within, you know, how we relate to, you know, another person, how we relate to others, you know, within our community, outside of our community, and essentially, you know, globally speaking, in society. So, right? And right now in society, between the rich and the poor, we have those are the two extremes. There is the way that things are playing out in present, there's almost no middle ground anymore between the raising costs in goods, and food and things like that, to, you know, services, to, come on. It's time that that all of us has to wake up. The masses. It can't just be the trickling few. We need a massive wake up. So, you know, I'm hoping that with you know, with all that I creatively want to put out, you know, and share with all of you, to, you know, those that I have met that are doing the same, and putting a brave foot forward in doing the same on a platform that is meant to connect people and community. And that has been a foundation for that for the last 20 years, 2 decades now. So essentially almost half of my timeline. What an honor and an opportunity to be here. To be able to share authentically with all of you. In a way that I never thought I could before. So anyway, okay. Next, oh, I wanted to read the overwhelm. That's right. Okay. Okay, overwhelm is an ocean that swells up on the horizon, a river about to spill over. In my dreams, I am drowning. Water fills my cup to the brim, faster than I can drink it. I could ask for help, I could slow down, or I could believe in myself, and the water would come down. Absolutely. So striving for that healthy balance of give and take. Okay. So then we have Zero the Fool. So what I hear with this is that be free and open, you know, and, you know, be okay with seeming or acting foolish, but don't be a fool. So have that freedom and that openness of sharing and giving of self, and not being afraid to be open and honest and authentic, but also protecting yourself from those that want to take advantage, that those who are not authentic, from those that want to harm. So essentially, protecting yourself against anything that is not serving your highest and greatest good, or that is going to take away from you achieving or being your highest and greatest self. And then we have, so this is a, let's see, what is this? What's the name of this card? This would be, mindset. Okay, so this is a mindset card. So for reflection, what mental blocks get in the way of intimacy and connection? Task: challenge the blocks by asking the following. Whose voice is this? What do I want to think? Okay, so that's pile number 2. And last but not least, pile number 3, which has the 9 of Cups card, which pretty much stands for wish fulfillment. We have the little Buddha who's in the center here, and, looking very serene, between its 2 allies. We have, abundantly, we have a pumpkin, we have what looks like some grapes, a banana, some apples, so, balancing and, nurturing environment. In between 2 luscious trees. Being very grateful and present within the moment here. Okay. So, first card from the Embody Oracle, we have 3 Queen. Oh, look. My number. I love this. Okay. Embody. We have 3. Okay. Queen. You are worthy to be in your fullness. Beautiful sister, it's time to upgrade, up-level, and grow into your robust, evolved, Queen. Queen. Neither the title nor the energy of princess is serving your big vision of who you are. You are meant to be in your full ruling power. The Queen serves gracefully, humbly, and yet powerfully. Take your throne now. Nurture your inner child who may have been wounded. The young, ingenuine, is that coming out wrong? Okay, the young ingenue within. Okay. Nurture your inner child who may have been wounded. The young ingenuine within, who may have only known challenge and strife. Initiate her so she can stand solid in a new truth. As queen, you can show yourself how to be loved. You can reign over any chaos. You can guide the parts of you that feel lost to find their way home. Be in the sparkly joy of creation now. This is a process, so be gentle, kind, and diligent. Call upon your inner queen to lead you to call in security, finances, prosperity, love, and spiritual maturity to be radiant, magnificent, and unstoppable in your service. Your inner queen takes care of her center, her place of unwavering inner wisdom. There may be a situation in your life that is taking up energy and space, holding you back from living in your purpose. Whatever his/her name is, you can't keep giving away your power. You can come into your grace and accept that when you up level, you are crowned and chosen by the divine. Time to rule from here. And that is actually on page 33. So if you want to, check out the angelic message, where that, for numerology, where that is concerned, you're welcome. I will probably try to put that up in editing on the screen for you. But yes. Okay. Embody invitation. Awaken the inner. Focus. Hip scoops. Smiling hips. Take a nice wide stance with your legs. Turn your feet 45 degrees out. Bend your knees into a squat or goddess stance. Wide-legged squat. Imagine that you are smiling with your hips as you scoop your hips from side to side. Dip down with your hip going to one side and then the other, as if you are drawing a smile. Alternate directions. After hip smile scoops, keep your feet in place. Allow your hips to play and circle and pulse naturally. Play and initiate yourself into your centered, grounded queen. Song suggestion, DTO, Cosmic Grounding, Nameless Energy. And I want to remind you that this is also to, especially because it is called Embody Oracle, it doesn't just mean that when you are embodying the spirit of the queen, given all the characteristics that I also just read, and the understanding of the characteristics of a queen, the archetype, it's the spirit you're embodying. So whether you identify as male or female or they or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the embodiment of spirit that is being outlined here in the book, and how I also would read that as well. So I just felt the need to share for you to keep that in mind as you take the message as you will for yourself and, you know, whoever else may need it. So, okay, so that's Queen, you know. Okay. So we have, right? So sitting in your truth and power of being. And, you know, embodying the characteristics of the Queen. Okay. So we have surrender. So surrender to your truth. Surrender to your divine calling. Who are you meant to embody and be in this lifetime? I'm going to read this card, surrender. Okay. Surrender is another word for letting go. It's looking at something and seeing what's missing, but loving it as is with the absent pieces. It's taking a leap forward, not because I know it is safe, but because I trust that it will be somehow. And I know the future holds a light I cannot see, but is worth every fear I have to face before I reach it. Absolutely. Absolutely. So to me, you know, this actually reminds me of the spiritual void, you know, and surrendering to all that is, breaking free of the limiting beliefs, breaking free of the limiting expectations, you know, even, you know, the what looks like the snake that's, you know, and it is a snake that is represented to be inside the body, you know, flowing through the body. That's, you know, shedding the old. This is the year of the snake, the wood snake, if you remember, you know, and the hermit. So, you know, doing that introspection. But this reminds me of the idea of what, you know, the spiritual awakening, what that can be like, right? And then of course the representation of the snake is, you know, the awakening of going through a Kundalini awakening, right? Waking up your deepest, truest passion for life. So, right? Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So, actioning abundance. Being one with nature. And all that is. As I always say, we come from the earth, we go back to the earth, right? Earth, Mother Gaia is our divine mother. And as such, it's honoring that. by remembering our truth of who we are and where we come from. Respecting that. Nurturing that. And as we do that, enjoying the abundance of all of that. For ourselves and with others. Okay. And then we have, okay. So our last, for pile number 3, the last reflection card here from the My Therapy cards for relationships by Dr. Ebony. We have, what unhealthy, patterns are you bringing into your relationship or ships with others? Task, identify how these patterns serve or have served you. Example, keep you safe, familiarity, control, etc. And yes, of course, reflecting on the unhealthy patterns that keep you stuck in these karmic cycles of relationships and behaviors with others and in life. As we learn to let go of those unhealthy patterns, we let go of the cords that are keeping us stuck in the lower dense energy, vibrational energy. As we sever those, as we bring to consciousness those karmic threads, we bring light to it, we can then illuminate the darkness on them and shed what doesn't serve us. And the greatest good that we can be for ourselves and for others, for generations to come. So that is pile number 3, and I hope that you enjoyed my pick 3 pick a pile readings. Aspiring affirmations for the month of April. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that whatever was shared, that you will reflect upon it, take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't for someone else that it may resonate with, and of course, I hope that you would like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for whatever else that I have coming up in the future. So with that, I hope that you would make sure to hit that notification bell so that you'll always be in the know of when I post my next video. And also be sure to subscribe to my new collab podcast channel, The Spiritual Void from A to Z, with us 3, which is myself, Alana Banana, the beautiful Alexis Milner, Sexy Lexi, and her beloved daughter, and the last but not least, Z, to our collab together, and that is the lovely zesty Zoe of Tego. So with all that being said, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you liked everything that I had to say, and of course everything in regards to the cards that were used for the pick 3, all of the information for all of that, any of the videos and channels that I may have mentioned, all of that will be in the description box down below. So with all that being said, thank you so much. I love you. As I always say, I am love, so are you. As I see myself as human, I know you are too. And as I leave you with all of that today, please remember to take care of yourself and one another. And while you're at it, don't forget about me too. I love you so much. And until next time, always remember to check your privilege, mind your magic, and always live, listen, and learn. I love you. Bye.